In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. May we bask in the holy vibration and emanation of the Word. Hello, beautiful souls. Our message today is one that came to me a few days ago. It was a very clear directive from God. Do not prostitute your soul. Do not prostitute your soul. As we awaken, as we become more lucid in this dream, we start to touch on and awaken to the treasure of our true being. And we start to become disenchanted with materiality, the grip of materiality, the seductive qualities of materiality. We start to recognize that the true richness and wealth we've been seeking all this time is within us. It's within us. God's light is within us. The bounty, abundance, love, grace, holding we've been seeking so hungrily outside of ourselves is within us. And this message was delivered very clearly, straight into the center of my heart a few days ago. Do not prostitute your soul any longer. Remember who you are. Remember your majesty, your dignity, your nobility as a being, as a divine being, and make choices in your human experience that reflect that honor that. So a few days ago, I went to meet a woman and a dog for a potential paid house sit. And as I wrap up my time here in England and prepare to leave for France in March, any additional money that I can accumulate at this time will be very helpful for the onwards journey. And so I arrived at this dog sit or the house that I would be dog sitting for, and the house I'd be dog sitting in. And within a few moments of arriving, straight away I attuned to the energy of the space and it felt off. And then very quickly it became clear to me that the conditions the dog was in, the value system that the dog was being raised within, their attitude in general, her and her partner's attitude and approach, was very much misaligned with my own. And I found myself, as I was sort of moving through this meet and greet, which in my head was a done thing, it felt, this will be easy. I've sat for dozens of dogs. There's no reason why, this seems like a really straightforward sit. There's no reason why I wouldn't go ahead and, get booked for this sit. But my entire being was rejecting this sit because the energy was just so icky for a number of reasons, which I won't go into. And it was the way that they were approaching the raising of their dog was fundamentally at odds with what I agree with. And so I inwardly had made the decision before I left that this was not the sit for me, and it was very clear to me, and I'm sure they felt that energetically too. And when I got back into the car, having left, and I was sort of processing the energy that I'd just been in and what I just witnessed, and just the experience of it, the words "do not prostitute your soul" rang out in my heart, clear as day. Do not prostitute your soul. And what immediately came through after that was confirmation that we are living in times where the external conditions are becoming so tempting to become enslaved to. Financially, so many people are feeling at their wits' end. Materially, physically, things are so unstable, and it would be so easy to want to grasp for safety and comfort during these times. It would be so easy to want to give our power away to the compelling nature of the material world. But as we become more lucid and awake, we start to tune into a more real, more sacred reality than the one that is presented to us through the five senses and that takes physical form. And it is that reality that we must now live and serve and honour and adhere to, not the conditions of the physical reality. And so when I heard this message, do not prostitute your soul, it was very clear to me that my egoic conditioning wanted to initially take that job because it would have been, money in my pocket, supporting the journey onwards to France, would have been, financially beneficial. And I love being around animals, it's a bonus. But clearly the conditions were not right. And what I heard in my heart after I heard do not prostitute your soul was, I'm not giving you these circumstances so that you can remember yourself as a pauper that needs to take scraps. I'm giving you these external circumstances so that you remember your spiritual dignity, nobility, abundance, sovereignty, and that you rise into that. I'm not giving you the circumstances you're experiencing, which for me has been financial instability, material instability, and a great deal of upheaval in my life at every level. My health, my relationships, my living situation, my finances, my community, my spiritual orientation, my state of consciousness has just completely been blown open recently. Everything is in upheaval. And the egoic nature wants to rest on something solid and firm, terra firma, it wants to rest on stable, solid ground. That's fundamentally at odds with the spiritual path, which is one of change and transformation and growth and rapid expansion in these times. And I can see my egoic nature is trying to seek out, it's weakening, but it's trying to seek out ways to stabilize myself during these times, physically, materially, financially, naturally, right? Because that's the egoic nature is innately linked to our human expression and our biological kind of animal programming. It wants to survive. And that's a helpful quality of the ego. It wants us to survive in these bodies. But as the soul becomes more embodied and as we wake up to the innate quality of our divine being, we're being asked to trust in something greater than material, physical, financial security, which is illusory. And so my journey has been absolutely wearing down my reliance on external material reality and showing me that this is Maya, that reliance on this as stability and safety is Maya, because these conditions are changeable. The spiritual nature is not changeable. It's unchangeable. It's untouched by what happens at material reality level. And so God was clearly saying in my heart, and this message wasn't just for me, this is why I'm relaying it to you also. God was saying in my heart, I'm not giving you these conditions because you are a beggar in survival mode. I'm not giving you these conditions because you're in lack and you need to find some way of surviving in this world. I'm giving you these conditions and all these experiences that are arising for you so that you can exercise discernment, so that you can start to flex that muscle to feel what feels right for you at a soul level. I'm giving you contrast so that you become more masterful and refined with your energy. I'm giving you these polarizing experiences, this upheaval, these ebbs and flows, so that you can start to depend on something more true than the conditions of your material reality. I'm giving you these conditions not because you are a lacking being or a being of scarcity, but because you are an abundant being, and I want you to realize that and embody it. I want you to realize your true nature. Do not prostitute your soul. Perhaps in the past, when the egoic conditioning was strong and we lacked awareness, we did things that compromised our values. We compromised our integrity. We compromised things that really were important to us out of fear in our relationships, in our work situations, in our living situations, with our bodies. No more. God is saying at this time of profound collective karmic completion, closure, endings, cycles endings, huge timeline divergences, do not prostitute what is most sacred any longer. Remember your true nature and being as a divine, abundant, grace-filled, love-filled, highly supported, divinely protected being. It is your responsibility to recognize it and embody it. That's the initiation. It's always true, it's always present, but it is your recognition of it that qualifies you for it and as it. Right? You must choose it for yourself. That's an inner qualification process. That's the path of self-mastery. Awakening to the truth and then choosing to honor the truth over the compelling nature of the ego, the compelling nature of the material circumstances. But God's message is very clear at this time. No more sacrificing, no more martyrdom, no more bending, no more wavering on the truth. No more diminishing, no more feeding stories of smallness, of scarcity, of stuckness. It is time to see the fallacy of that, to truly see it. And maybe you already recognize that. You recognize that these thoughts are unhelpful. You recognize that you have these self-concepts that don't fundamentally reflect the truth of what you feel about yourself and what others reflect back to you. Then, for goodness sake, honor your divine nature. Honor the truth of who you are, and enough of indulging that nonsense. I could say something else then, but I'm not going to. I'm going to try and keep it clean. Enough of indulging that nonsense. Enough. You don't need to, my love. There is so much light and grace and support and abundance available to you, but you will not find it in your material circumstances. You will first find it when you go deep within yourself. When you go deep within yourself. When you recognize all of this as Maya, and you tune right into the heart of your being. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. When you tune back into the Word of God, and you feel that holy emanation within you, you will recognize and see that all of this is Maya. This is a dream, and the truth resides within you. And it is not something that can be seen or felt or sensed or connected to tangibly with your five senses alone. You must break free of that animal body conditioning. You must rise higher. You must expand further still. If you're on my channel, you likely already have. You've already begun this process. And God is saying it's time now. It's time not just to touch on that truth, not just to sample it and to taste it and then come back to your limited idea of yourself, to rest in your conditioning. No, you are here to rest in and as the love, in and as the grace, in and as the wisdom and the awareness, in and as the truth. And it is that love and truth and grace and abundance that you are that will hold your limited human experience and the conditioning that you experience that arises in ebbs and flows and will dissolve it. The truth of who you are will dissolve your attachment to Maya. It will dissolve your desire to be in some way governed by and to seek comfort in material reality. It's the hidden path of mystery and magic. That's how it's been shown to me. That this path I'm speaking of, the one that supersedes all of this, it's a hidden path. It's an initiatic path. It requires more than the five senses to see it, to know it, to claim it. That's the qualification. You have to be willing to go beyond the five senses to see it, to know it, to claim it. That's your initiation. But once you've seen it, you can't unsee it. Once you've seen your true nature, once you've communed with the divine, there's no going back. And God is asking us now to no longer be slaves to the demands and the distractions of the material world. And my goodness me, my friends, those distractions and those expressions, those loud expressions in the world of form, they're going to get very, very loud very soon. They're going to get very loud very soon. And this is also a time for me to share that in the mushroom journey I had a few days ago, it was confirming some of what I'd been feeling within the collective about what's brewing. And the message was very clear. Whatever distractions arise at the material level, at the level of form, keep your eyes on the city of jewels, or as it was shared with me, the golden city, which is the solar plexus, your power center. In this mushroom journey, I was shown the prominent timelines that may be playing out in the next few weeks and months. They're wild. They're wild. They're full of distraction. They're full of chaos. They're full of content that if we are still engrossed in believing this to be the truth, the ultimate truth, the absolute truth, our attention, our awareness, our power is going to be leaked, and it's going to be given to our form circumstances. And every single time a timeline was presented to me with all these wild experiences, God pulled my head back down and made me look at the city of jewels, as it's known in yogic philosophy, Manipura chakra. This chakra, this center, or the golden city, as it was shown to me. Keep your eyes, your embodiment on your power. Regardless of what comes externally, keep your embodiment, your attention, your awareness rooted in the solar plexus. Do not let your energy leak out and give power to whatever comes externally. Stay centered, stay neutral, stay present, observe, but remain firmly rooted in this center that is so full of vitality and empowerment and nourishment and golden nectar for you. It will be your life reserve, your life support through these times. But you must claim it for yourself, and you must devote yourself to keeping your awareness there. Keep your awareness within. Stay centered, stay present, stay grounded. The old must crumble before the new can be born. It's going to be a messy process. It always is. Death and rebirth isn't clean and tidy. It's messy, it's wild, it's miraculous, it's chaotic. But we don't need to attach fear to that process. We can simply recognize it for what it is. A necessary time of change and transformation to usher in the golden age. And it will be a golden age, my friends. It will be an age filled with so much light that the forces that have tried to keep humanity in darkness know that they are coming to a very abrupt end. The amount of light that has been anchored on this planet, the amount of light that is streaming through us and to us, is a light that cannot and will not be stopped. It is the light of God. And that light will collapse, it will dissolve all that is not true. It's already happening. It is inevitable. It is destined. So know this without doubt. Rest in it. Rest in this truth. And then simply do your due diligence. Do your cleanup. Make sure that every area of your life reflects your gnosis of this truth. Do not prostitute yourself any longer, my friends. Remember the sacredness of your being. Remember the sacredness of the soul. Remember the true task at hand, which is your spiritual health, well-being, vitality, embodiment. Stay connected. Stay anchored within. Let love lead the way. And allow the light to illuminate all that is untrue within you and in the world. Let God's will lead this process. I love you, take good care, and I'll see you again in the next transmission.